There's a rampage coming from New York City's Department for the Aging.
So Rampage, of course, is the cartoon character the department has created for a new public service announcement aimed at getting seniors vaccinated for COVID. So here's a sneak peek.
By the time you meet me, it's too late. I'm Rampage. I'm a coronavirus. And your healthy cells are my guilty pleasure. I'll enter your body and head for your lungs. Then I'll smother you with my Rampage love. Why am I talking to older New Yorkers? You're vulnerable and easy to get. I'll tell you something else. Doctors are my enemy. They know my weakness, like I know yours. So talk to a doctor. But don't wait too long. I'm just around the corner.
Well, here to tell us about why they need this cartoonish approach is the City Department for the Aging Commissioner Lorraine Cortez Vasquez. Commissioner, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
My pleasure.
Hey, so we know seniors, our commissioner, are the most vulnerable for COVID, right? We've been saying that since the very beginning. So why reach them with a cartoon public service announcement? What did the cartoon have to do with it all?
It's a great question. We did a survey of older New Yorkers, and what they was, especially those who were resistant to getting vaccinated. About 1 in 5 New Yorkers who are over 60 remain unvaccinated. And as the commercial says, and as all the science says, this is the most vulnerable population. And so when we did this survey, they said to us, don't talk down to us. Most of the conversation about the vaccine is talking down to us. Don't tell us what to do. Engage us. And so we came up with a very clever way of engaging them, but at the same time empowering them.
Right.
Because as you know, the commercial says, take action, talk to your doctor, give it another thought.
Okay.
So how much do you hope this campaign is going to improve the senior vaccination rate in the city?
I beg your pardon?
How much are you hoping that this campaign will improve?
Well, we hope that it makes a major inroads into the unvaccinated and those that are resistant to being vaccinated. As I said, still 1 in 5 are not, and that to us is a great concern, particularly with the onset of Omicron, as you just discussed 2 seconds ago.
When you say 1 in 5, do you have a percentage number of how many of the senior community is in fact vaccinated?
Well, I'll look at it this way. 20% of 1.6 million individuals. That is an incredibly large number. So we're talking about hundreds of thousands of individuals that still need to be vaccinated.
Right. So do you think because they're seniors that they just cannot get to a vaccine site? Are there other ways to actually reach them, or what do you think the holdup is here in them getting the vaccine?
I think I listened to the information that the older adult spoke to me. And what they said to us, as I said earlier, was engage us, talk to us, give us more information. So we are providing information in a variety of ways to see if we can have a breakthrough. The other thing that's very important is that we have vaccination sites. New York has been incredibly responsive to the older New Yorker. In fact, we're one of the few localities that still has in-home vaccinations for anyone who chooses to have one. And in their home, you never have to leave your facilities. And we also have had mobile vaccine sites at senior centers and in neighborhoods that have a high percentage of older adults.
Yeah.
And so the efforts are there. What we need to do is have a breakthrough in the conversation so that they can engage and be empowered.
Yeah, what are some of the other ways, though, that you're reaching seniors, especially if they don't leave the house? They don't leave the house, they don't go online, maybe they don't watch TV that often. How else are you reaching out to them to make sure that they
we use
vaccinated?
Trusted Voices and our trusted partners. We have an entire and an expansive aging network, nonprofits that work with us. We're using ministers, we're using family members. All the trusted voices that we can engage in this conversation.
So, Commissioner, is there any COVID campaign tied in with any other programs that you have for city seniors, right? Maybe like a more family approach of a senior and their children who also want to go with them to get vaccinated.
You know, we haven't done that, but that's a great idea.
Well, I should come work for you.
And
Side hustle.
but we have engaged family members in the
Yeah.
conversation. You know, we have, you know, some of our literature talks about helping your grandmother or your aunt, and particularly in certain communities, godmothers play a big role.
Okay.
And so that conversation has been had. But to have a scene where you might have an intergenerational
Yeah.
conversation is an interesting approach. Thank you for that.
Oh, well, there you go. Are there any other programs or ideas that you have, an outreach program?
Oh my goodness, there's a multitude of things taking place as
Yeah.
we're speaking. And as I said, we've gone to churches, we go to buildings, we do the in-home vaccination, which, by the way, is a wonderful partnership with the fire department and nurses who volunteer for this effort. We also use senior centers. Every avenue where older adults go, we try to do that. We
Yeah.
are filtering supermarkets and local areas with information.
Good. Well, New York City Department for the Aging Commissioner Lorraine Cortez Vasquez, I think this was your first appearance. It was good to see you here. Thanks for being here.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much.
All right. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you, too.